Hello and welcome. I am Jay Holmes Racer. This is the home of all things Btcc. I hope you've all been keeping well. I've actually been a little bit busy recently. Didn't do my review of brands, unfortunately. But good I didn't do that. I'm going to go really quick flick through some of my notes to go through that quickly as possible. This is just a quick thing before Oulton Park this weekend. Really looking forward to that. My first time back at a track since Oulton Park 2019. That's super exciting to me. Can't wait to be there. If you don't already, follow me on Instagram. There will be a link in the description. But it is at Jones_journals. I will have plenty of videos and pictures in my story on Sunday of the races, the cars, wherever I can get videos and pictures of. If you want, you can't be there, you want to see some pictures and things like that. Some maybe not the professional pictures and videos you'll see on TV. Some raw footage, maybe come and join that. So quickly gonna run through some things from brands. Have a quick little chat of Oulton Park. Hopefully this will only be a quick little video. So let's get into it. So last time I did talk about each driver. I'm gonna flick through quite a lot of these. I'll pick up on a few points and then move on to some of the other points I made of drivers I thought would do well. Let's see how they actually did. So quickly go through. Colin Texton got 2 points the whole weekend. That was an absolute shocker. Did have a good qualifying. I don't think Colin's ever had that bad of a weekend. I don't remember the last time it was that bad. He's lucky to get the 2 points in the end as well. Would expect better this weekend. From all of them, I think he had a great weekend. A first and a third in the first few races. I think he's a bit unlucky not to win at the second one as well. And not so good in the last race, but that was a great weekend. Sometimes expect more. Jelly had an equally poor weekend as Texton, only 2 points, would expect more. Ash Sutton, super quiet weekend, didn't really see a lot of him. Kind of went under the radar what he did, but he picked up 36 points, which is good for the championship. He has been very consistent with that. Probably not a great track for the Infinity as well, which is good. Aidan Moffat followed on with Ash and he got 30 points. That was a massive haul for Aidan. That might be his biggest haul since he took over that for Infinity. That was a great weekend for him. We got Carl Bolly, didn't score any points unfortunately. Butcher only got 13 points as well, did get the fastest lap in the final race. But we really didn't see a lot of Butcher. We would have expected more from the Toyota at Brands. As Port and Sam Smart didn't score any points either, so Toyota really poor weekend. Hyundai's Tom Ingram keeping right on the heels of Ash Sutton, got 35 points and a race win in race 2. So doing what he needs to do just to keep him for the championship. Chris Smiley had his best weekend of the season as well, 24 points. Keeping up with probably the best weekend that he had in terms of keeping up with Ingram. So much improved from Chris Smiley. Let's hope we can keep up with Ingram a bit more. Jack Butel and Rick Parfit unfortunately didn't get any points either. Gordon Shedden again showing lots of pace. Showing it is quick. He finished second in race 1 with the fastest lap. But only 18 points across the whole weekend. It's just a season of Shedden showing he's got pace. We know he's quick in that car. But just seems to have luck whether he gets caught up in an instance of his own doing. Something else's incident, or it is a case of some part failure. Just not so great for him. On the other hand, Dan Rowbottom had a great weekend. 34 points in total. That was great. His first ever pole, which is great to see in qualifying. Unfortunately bogged down a bit on the start and dropped back a bit, but still got a podium. I said we'll come back around to that in a minute. But that was a great weekend. Dan Rowbottom, he's really shown the doubters that he deserves that seat. Then we've got Tom Chilton, only 3 points, really struggling so much in that BMW. Really didn't expect him to be struggling so much. And Adam Morgan, who won race 3, really seems to have got to grips with the BMW now, not as consistent as a weekend as he had at Snetterton, but still managed to get a race win thanks to the reverse grid and picked up 25 points. Jason Plato, after a terrible weekend at Snetterton, where he scored no points, got 24 points, which is good to see up there. Obviously that Vauxhall has a lot of pace. It just wasn't working at Snetterton for some reason, but 24 points for Plato and 22 for Leeds shows as a combined package that Vauxhall's got pace. And they're really on par with each other, which is good to see. They're probably the most equal driver combination on the grid I've seen so far this season. Jake Hill, 16 points. It wasn't a great weekend, unfortunately for him. I think he did quite well in race 1. He got 4th and then a DNF in race 2. And then had to drag himself off the back of the grid in race 3. not too special. Ollie Jackson, no points at all. Had a good weekend at Snetterton, and then at Brands it all kind of fell apart and just didn't get any points at all. Sam Osborne and Andy Lee not getting any points either, so Jake didn't afford to score any points. Jack Goff, probably what I'm most excited to say, he finally got a podium. His first podium since that win at Silverstone in 2019. First podium for the Cooper. It was on the reverse grid, but that Cooper looked super fast. He constantly looked like he was trying to get up the inside, going out clearways. Obviously can't do too much to push drivers out of the way, but very reminiscent of what I thought of Towing when he driven the Avensis. The Cooper just looks like it gets stronger and stronger and stronger every weekend. Jack's biggest point haul got himself into the top 10 in the championship with 28 points in this weekend. Hopefully there'll be more of those podiums to come. Glen Geddy got no points. I will circle back around to that point in a minute too. Aaron Taylor-Swift managed a single point, and unfortunately Nick Hamilton didn't get any. Josh Cook, another driver who I think had a quiet weekend, but managed to keep picking up the points, got 30 points in total with a fastest lap in race 2. That was a very good weekend for him. And Centre Proctor was someone I thought would probably should have been better with Snetterton. Managed to pick up 20 points, which is more where you'd expect a centre to be. So that was a good weekend for him. And his only second weekend in the car. And Jade Edwards unfortunately didn't pick up any points. That was a quick roundup of that. Got a few points I want to pick up on that. And then we'll move on to talk quickly about Oulton Park. But also some great racing at Brands Hatch, but let's get into a few points I want to make about Brands Hatch now. So the first point I was going to go on was about Glen Geddy. They briefly mentioned it in the summarise of the weekend before. He decided to step back from the championship for at least the rest of the season. Business commitments, and obviously he's had a new baby as part of the family, so decided to step away from that. And then we'll see Jack Mitchell take his place in the Team Hard Cooper Leon alongside Jack Goff, who'll be Jack Goff's teammate. So you got Taylor-Swift and Hamilton as well. Don't know a lot about Mitchell, but it'll be interesting to see how he gets on in this. I think it's his first time competitively driving a touring car, has done a bit of testing, but it'll be probably a hard track to come into and do it as well. Cooper, I'm not sure how the Cooper's going to get on at Oulton Park, although it looked okay in the testing a couple of weeks ago, although such mixed conditions, I think it was hard to tell. But it's a shame to the Glen Geddy leave, but good luck to Mitchell this weekend. So the 5 drivers to watch that I picked for Brands Hatch were Adam Morgan, who went ahead and won a race, so I think that was a good one to pick. Jack Goff, who finished second as well. He get a lot more pace in that car as well. I think it was just tough to actually get past. But I think the Cooper was actually a lot better than 10th and 11th he got in the first 2 races. Jason Plato had a pretty steady weekend, but obviously he was pretty fast. We had Jake Hill, who was quick, but unfortunately had a problem in race 2. But I think he would have scored a lot of big points. Again, Gordon Chen, who was fast, but unfortunately just had trouble again. He seems to perform everywhere since he's come back to the championship. So I think that's pretty spot on with that. And I thought I would go ahead and check through my 10 points for the season and see how we are getting on with them 10 predictions. Sorry. So first one was Cooper's taking at least 1 win and 5 podiums. It's now got 1 podium, so beating down on that one. Morgan to be the second best BMW. Now I didn't expect Oulton to be as good as he was. He had a great weekend, so that could be pretty hard actually. Although saying that, if second is as bad as he was at Brands, maybe he won't be the best one. Who knows? At least one Jack Sears driver to get a podium. No, I've completely ticked that off now with Dan Rowbottom's podium in race 1. We have managed to achieve that one. That's one ticked off. No driver changes except the 3rd Btcc. We've had a few little ones here and there now. Maybe we've got a full one with Glen Geddy going out, so I do have to put that one as complete. Fail, unfortunately, for me now. 10 drivers within a chance of the title come Brands Hatch GP. If Chilton's as quick and as consistent as he is, it probably won't be as many as 10. But there's a lot of quick drivers that will probably get more podiums and even a chance at a win this season. But we'll see how it goes. Jack Off most poles, I just don't think it's going to happen. The one issue that Team Harder said they have with the Cooper is their qualifying pace isn't as good as their race pace. Seems like they got a quicker race car, but they're just struggling in qualifying. If they get the car higher in qualifying, I think they'll have some really strong weekends. And next two have already failed out, which was no driver to win maximum balance. No team to have two drivers on the podium, already failed that, unfortunately. Again, failed this one as well. I think no driver to finish with 0 points. We've had Glen Geddy drop out of the championship now with 0 points. We've had Jess Hawkins coming for one weekend and has no points. We lost that one. Actually, to win most races. I think we will still be on for that one. It's not too bad overall on that one. At least we ticked one off for sure with the podium for a Jack Sears driver. That is what I've got on brand hatch wrapped up there on that. I'm going to go through quickly 5 drivers to watch out for on Oulton Park, and that will be me for this video. So my 5 drivers to watch this weekend, I'm going to stick with one driver I picked last time, and that is Adam Morgan. It is a track that in recent years the BMW seems to go well, especially if it's dry. Hopefully it will be dry. I say I'm going, don't want to be getting soaking wet, but we might get some interesting action if it does. I think so Adam Morgan will be good, and he's got no weight on the car as well. Next, I think Roy Butcher didn't have the best of weekends at Brand, so he should be pretty light and weight. He's only 10th in the championship. I think he can go pretty well there. Speedworks home race at Oulton Park. Who else do I think will have a good weekend? I think Josh Cook. I think he went pretty well there last year in the Honda. Again, it's kind of a mix. Oulton Park, sometimes the Honda's the better car, sometimes rear-wheel drives seem to do better. But I think Josh Cook, who's quietly getting along with what he's doing this season, I think he's gonna perhaps sneak up on Ingram or Sutton if they have a bad weekend, and Josh can keep going. Bearing in mind where he was at the start of last season, I think it's a real turnaround in the season for him. I'm also going to go with Dan Lloyd. I think he's doing pretty well in that Vauxhall. The Vauxhall were pretty good in the pre-season test a few weeks ago. It was hard to kind of pick up on it because it was mixed conditions, but a lot of the signals that Dan is putting out for the weekend shows that he believes he's going to be pretty quick. Dan Lloyd, and I've got to go for the one. I wasn't sure whether to put him on initially when I thought about this. I thought about this driver. I wasn't too sure after the testing, especially if it rains. I don't think it is going to rain. Hopefully it will be sunny. But I've got to go for him because he's got quite a good record, and that is Turkington. He's lost a bit of weight, had such a bad weekend at Brands. He's now coming to Oulton Park. I said I was going to put him as my top driver to watch. Wasn't too impressed with what I saw from the test, but you never know what the test and also with the mixed conditions they had. If it rains, they will really struggle to BMWs, so that'll probably go for Morgan as well. But I think a dry weekend, I think we will see a strong return for Turkington, probably really start catching back up into Ingram and Sutton again. I haven't picked them this weekend. I could easily, the most consistent 2 drivers, but I'll try and pick some other drivers that maybe won't be top of the pile, but will have good weekends for them. But that is it for this weekend. For the pre-review of Brand as well as my preview for Oulton Park. I could probably pick reasons for most drivers why they do well. It's such a tough grid this season. I will be going to Oulton Park this weekend. I can't wait for that. So if you want to see some videos, some pictures and things like that, as I am at Oulton Park, follow me at Jones_journals on Instagram. I'll put plenty of stories up. I'll put a link to my Instagram and my description, as I always do anyway. Thank you for joining me for today's video. I will see you again for my review of Oulton Park. Thanks for watching.